Right. So I am live. Let's find the comments. Oh, that's me. What's this? Okay. Oh, okay, so 3 people. Could somebody just comment? I don't know where to access those. I'm hoping like a little pop-up's going to come up. So someone just send me any nonsense. Hi, maybe. That would be good. Is it down here? Okay, not there. I'll just sit here for a minute then. Yeah, so I don't know if the people that are watching now were the same people that were watching a second ago, but let me close that window. If somebody would just post a comment to this video, because I'm not sure how to access them. I'm not used to this interface. I've not used this before. That would be helpful because then I can try and figure out where the comments are going to land before we get started. What's that? That is... my gosh, this is so complicated. It's really not, apparently. Okay, add viewers to be in your broadcast. I mean, do I click OK for that? I don't know, Marie. I'm going to press OK and see what happens. Add viewers to be in your... Oh, no, you're just one of my viewers. You popped up over here. I don't know what that even does. Marie, have you just dropped me a comment? I don't know if you want to send me a message directly to my personal Facebook kind of profile, because I've seen you've just popped up in the little top corner, but I can't really do anything with that pop-up. So was it just a reaction? I've no idea. Oh, I can see the thumbnail on my phone, which is me just faffing about. If I open Facebook Live on here, Facebook, enable, update, I'm going to get a stool. Right. So I'm sitting on the floor. Just bear with me whilst I try and figure out what we're doing. We've got 4 minutes, yeah. Technology. Oh, 3 minutes. Oh, hang on, wait. I have joined. It's you, Marie. Yeah, I can see your little thing in the corner, but I can't see anything next to it. So I don't know if... I don't know if comments are just automatic. No, I can't. I can see. Can't see any comment from you, Marie. Oh, hang on, what did that do? Aha! I had to swipe. I found it, I had to swipe. I can see a comment from Kirk. And yeah, I can see. I'm going to wave at you, Marie. Look at me knowing what I'm doing. Right, okay. So, yeah, I can see this now. I can scroll up and down it. Hi, Nessica. We got there eventually. So we've got 2 minutes before we get going. I think I'm going to open the window because, as you can see, I'm inside. And it's really hot. How good is this weather? However, there is somebody doing some really noisy building work on and off. So apologies in advance for that. So I will slurp my tea and get some hula hoops out. What time are we on? Automatically scroll down. Yeah, no, we're all right. Okay. Hula hoop I've got. That's not even circular, that. Look at that. That's better. Right, yeah, so hula hoops sometimes warp in the heat. Where's the camera thing? It's over this side. So if you do have hula hoops, just be wary of leaving them next to radiators because you'll come back and they will be hula sloops, not hoops. I don't know. Does it have to be circular for you to call it a hoop? Don't know. Right, time. Okay, so it's 11 o'clock. I think what we'll start with is just some basic, just some waist hooping. I am going to get up and demonstrate, and then what I'll do is I will talk through how I learn how to do it. I could not hula hoop at all when I first picked it up. In fact, I thought it was so difficult that I gave up the first time. However, I just daydreamed about it constantly for like a year and a half before I finally told myself that if I persevered, I'd be able to do it. So I followed a YouTube video to learn how to hula hoop. So you absolutely can learn from a video, and hopefully I'll be able to show you. A few things worth mentioning to start with is if you're doing on body, so that's anything on your body, clue is in the name really. The bigger the hoop, the slower the hoop, so the easier it is to figure your stuff out before you start moving on to smaller hoops. So with waist hooping, we are going to move that out of the way for a start. This is not a fairly big hoop. This is quite a small hoop to begin with, but it's a fairly big hoop for me. Ideally, as a beginner, you want to be looking at your belly button. You want to be placing your hoop on the floor, and if it comes to a couple of inches above your belly button, then that is an ideal hoop size to be starting with. You can start with smaller, but you're going to make life more difficult for yourself. I need to angle this a little bit, excuse me. Okay, is that better? Let's try that again. I've got this propped up with a candle. Right, so getting your hoop is always a good start, and you're going to hold the hoop so it's in the small of your back, just above your bum. Hold it so it's contacting your back. Don't be holding it out here. Don't be holding it here or at the side. In the small of your back. And you're going to have your arms, I suppose if you're looking at a clock face, you're going to have your arms at about 8 o'clock and about 4 o'clock. So that way, if I was to tip it up. The first thing that I want you to do, Now, this is for people who can't waist hoop, so we're going to go right back to basics, is you're going to wind it up and you're going to give it a push and let go. Most people will have a preferred direction. I hula hoop to my left. There are people that hula hoop to the right. That's weird. I can do it, but I struggle with it more. So you're going to have to go with whatever feels natural. So you're going to wind it up and you're going to push. And push it nice and straight. And I don't want you to do anything with your body. I just want you to push and let it go down and feel how it feels as it moves around your body on the way down to the floor. Pick it up. I'm going to do it again. Wind up and give it a push. Nice and firm, nice and hard. Make sure it's straight. If you're pushing at this angle, it's not going to work. And if you're pushing at this angle, it's not going to work. So nice flat plane. And you'll probably find as you're doing that your body wants to move. And that's the next step. Now, there are two ways of doing this. You can, essentially what you're doing is as the hoop contacts your body, you are pushing that part of your body against the hoop. So you've got a small kind of front. It's not, loads of people think you have to be doing this. And I tell you now, that's the curtain just flapping in there. If you do that, just move that out of the way. You're going to end up with your hoop going down because the hoop will be on the part of your body that's moving the most. So if you're doing this, it's going to go around your bum, and before you know it, it will be on the floor. It's your stomach and your back that you're moving. Now, there's two ways to do it. You can either stand and go side to side. So just lift one foot then the other. Let me move the camera a little bit more so you can see. That doesn't make a lot of difference to it. You might be able to see my feet. So you can do this movement. So your whole body's kind of moving side. It'd be a lot quicker, side to side. Or the way I found easiest was to put one foot slightly in front of the other, and you go in a forward and back movement. So either forward and back or side to side. You can do a bit of both, but to demonstrate what I meant by the whole hula hoop hips, I can't even do it. There we go. It travels down, and then unless you can knee hoop, you're going to struggle getting it back up. So it's small movements responding to where the hoop's contacting you. This, again, is why a bigger, heavier hoop helps you, because you can feel it on your body more. The lighter hoops, you can't feel it as much, so it's difficult to get that feedback from what you're doing. So you see, it's all from the middle, from like your belly button and your back. And it's pretty small movements. It is tiring as well, just waist hooping for ages. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a look at the comments now and see if anyone's kind of, how people are getting on. Let's have a look. Crash course in the kitchen. Yeah, as you can see, the sun's in my eye, and I've developed a lovely spot this morning. Can you see it? Just in time for my live video. Okay, so how are you getting on, Scraggy? Are you managing to get that hoop going round? The bin men will be around soon, so we might hear that in a bit. Exciting. So how is everybody getting on, actually? Not just Scraggy, anyone watching? If you're struggling, obviously I can't see you, so it's usually much easier when I'm able to give you that feedback when I can see you. Any recommended retailers? I can put you in touch with some recommended retailers. My first hula hoop, big one, was massive. It was 39 inches. Oh, it's Kirky. 39 inches in diameter, so it came to about here, and the tubing was thick. The bigger the better, really. I think I got mine off of, I think it was off eBay, actually. You want to be looking at dance hoops. So if anyone's, oh, hello, hoverfly. So if anyone's looking to buy a hoop, you'll be looking at around 39 for an adult, 39 to 40 inch diameter dance hoops, basically. The wider the tubing, so the thicker the tubing, the better. My first one was 25 millimeter diameter tubing. There are different thicknesses of tubing. Don't know if you can make that out from the video. So this green one, this is a 16 millimeter tube. And this one is a, I think is it 19 or 20 millimeter tubing. So the first one I had was bigger than that again. It was, I think it was 25. So Kirk is having a go, hasn't a hula hoop for years. So try eBay. My first few were from an eBay seller called Peachy Steve. I'm not sure, maybe I'll be able to put some comments after we finish the live section underneath, and I can recommend quite a few retailers for it. You can either get the big heavy dance hoops, which I recommend if you're learning waist hooping first, and any on body. And they're made of medium density polyethylene, or you can get high density polyethylene. It's just basically heavier plastic. These are lighter weight and they're made out of polypropylene. So they're a lot lighter, less rigid, more responsive, and they are more difficult to learn with. You can learn to waist hoop with them, you can learn to hula hoop with them. You just have to be a bit more persistent. Yeah, if it's a kid's hoop, I'll show you the difference with a small hoop. So this is probably about the smallest that I've got. This is a 32 inch diameter, which again, that's quite small to be learning on as a beginner. This is a 29. So the speed that you have to move with the smaller hoops, I mean, this is quite quick really, but you know, my body's used to it. I haven't got a bigger hoop with me at the minute. They're in the loft. So yeah, it's a reasonable pace, you know, it's doable. With a smaller hoop, because you've got less time to move, you have to really speed it up to keep it going. And if you are struggling, you can actually turn in the same direction that the hoop is spinning, and it just gives you a little bit more time. Because you're moving with the hoop, it has kind of the action of slowing it down. Now, obviously we've only got, I think it's 45 minutes to teach this. And teaching the, have you ever used a weighted hoop? I would not recommend weighted hoops, because as you are learning, even with the dance hoops, because they're heavier, you will bruise. You're gonna bruise on your hip points because it's very hard to keep it on your waist to start off with, and you'll be sore. There's no need for a weighted hoop. If you do get one, you'll very quickly outgrow it, so to speak. Go for a dance hoop. You're going to be able to use it for longer before you need to progress to a smaller, lighter hoop. That's if you ever want to progress to a smaller, lighter hoop. You can happily use the dance hoops and do on-body and some off-body tricks without ever needing to progress to a smaller hoop. But when you're looking at doing things like chest rolls, so things, try not to smash the house up, things like this, you're really wanting something lighter, because it really, really hurts when you smack yourself in the face with a big heavy hula hoop. and it's easier to do it with something lighter. So yeah, go for a big dance hoop to start off with. There is a website, if you Google Hula hoopers, so that is Hula, Hula hoopers. It should bring up a website of a lady who makes hoops. I've had quite a few from her. She's a fantastic hoopsmith. She makes the smaller polypros as well as the big, heavy dance ones. But yeah, there's not really any need for the weighted ones. You're just gonna hurt yourself. And if you want into hula hoop to get fit, again, you don't need the weighted ones because it's a cardio exercise. So, you know, you're not weightlifting with your stomach. You're not going to get massive abs from using a weighted hoop. You're going to be able to use a lighter hoop for longer because you're not going to hurt yourself than if you was using a weighted hoop. So you'd probably end up burning more calories with the dance hoop, if that's what you're aiming for. Right, so I best do some more hula hooping. Okay, so we've gone through, and again, we can do the theory of this, but it takes hours. I once read that it takes 20 hours of practice, like good quality practice, to become good at something. And that's a goal that I had in my mind when I first kind of picked up this hoop again. I was like, okay, I will get in 20 hours, you know, I'd spend 20 minutes every day, or if I couldn't commit to 20 minutes every day, like an hour a couple of times a week. And eventually, trust me, it clicks, it goes in. So just to recap the theory of waist hooping, and then we'll move on to perhaps doing, kind of moving it up a little bit. There's that drill. Okay, so waist hooping, make sure it's right in the small of your back, nice and snug. Bigger hoop, better. Smaller hoop, doable, but difficult. You're going to give it a bit of a wind up, and then you're going to wang it to one side, nice and straight, and move. You can go side to side, or you can go more front to back. Don't do the hips because it will fall down. It looks good, but it's not practical. Okay. Oh, and another thing is you're kind of aiming to keep the hoop around in line with your belly button. It won't stay there to start off with. It'll be going down and down and down, and you'll get to a point where you're doing this with your legs and all sorts to try and that's just how it progresses. So the next thing that you can actually learn is to learn how to bring the hoop up and down your body. And the way that I describe how you do this is that if you imagine that you're coiling your body up. So your standard movement, side to side, front to back, whatever it is you're doing, as your hoop goes down, you're going to move your body as if you're energetically coiling up. And that has the effect of bringing it up and down. So you slow down, it'll go down, start to panic. It is a really weird movement, and it takes quite a while to crack. There is no chance you'll be able to do this with a small hoop. I really struggle to bring my 29-inch up from my knees to my waist without going like this and going round and round in circles. Let me come a bit closer. So you're going to allow it, if you've got a big enough hoop to try it, go for it. If not, don't worry. So as you can see, it's dropped below my belly button. And then I'm going to wiggle, drop it down, wiggle. So it's kind of like a snake movement, really. If you imagine, if you was kind of looking from me top down, I would be circling, but as I'm circling, I'm kind of pushing upwards. So it's a weird movement and not at all easy. Okay. So for when you're practicing on your waist and it does drop down and you've not got to the point where you're able to wiggle it back up, that's fine. What it is a great opportunity to practice knee hooping. Knee hooping took me a while to get. However, I've seen like 5-year-old girls accidentally knee hooping for like ages. And I'm like, how did you, what? So slightly different movement, not side to side. What you're going to have is your feet planted nice and firmly on the floor, and you're going to kind of lift your heels and pump your knees. That's the movement you're going to have. So you allow it to go down, or you can start it on your knees if you want. And you just pulse in. Both knees together. And the movement comes from your hips. So the upper half of my body's really quite still. Again, smaller hoop, you have to pulse faster. Bigger hoop, you can go slower. Whoop. Oh, and another tip. Bare legs for this make life so much easier. If you're wearing slippy clothes, you're going to struggle because gravity is not your friend as a hula hooper. Trust me, it makes life so much more difficult. Okay, so where you're aiming when you're knee hooping is just above your kneecap, like where that natural sort of ridge is before your kneecaps start. I'm a nurse, you'd think I'd know better kind of terminology for this. Okay, so if you want to start on your knees, you can. It's probably easier than trying to save it when it drops down. So again, just behind your legs to start it. Give it a nice straight push and just start pulsing. Don't bounce, because if you bounce, it will go down. Go down, there we go. So it's from the toes stay on the floor. Can't see the reflection. Toes stay on the floor. The movement comes from the hips. And yeah, nice sturdy base. This is good for your balance as well, because you need to be able to balance on your toes and balance and not fall over at the same time as pulsing. You can just do one at a time, which is actually how I started. So I would keep one, whichever leg you prefer, nice and firm on the ground and just pulse with one. And you can do that with either one. But the temptation then is to allow the knee that's pulsing to go slightly in front of your standing knee. And what happens when you do that is your hoop will start to go around on an angle, which, you know, is fine, but it doesn't look very neat. And it's harder to control when you're on an angle. So if you keep your feet nice and close together and pulse with both knees at the same time, it's much easier. Okay, so I'll come back over here. How are people getting on? I'll just wait for the comments and have a rest at the same time. We could look at, I understand that a lot of this is just theory for you. Like I said earlier, it's going to take some time putting these things into action. And there are loads of amazing YouTube channels on there, out there even. Deanne Love, D-E-A-N-E, it might be D-E-A-N-N-E, Love on YouTube. She's amazing. In fact, it was her videos. Is that a horse? Maybe. She is the person that taught me how to hula hoop, basically. She doesn't know that because she's a YouTube person. But yeah, her videos are amazing. And if you just, this Hoop Smiles as well. He is a very endearing character. He's very fun, bubbly, and has some great hula hoop beginner videos, including a rap song about learning how to hula hoop. So definitely check that person out. That's Hoop Smiles on YouTube. And if you search for hula hoop rap, it should bring it up. So Yeah, I mean when you're first learning, yeah, it is a good workout. When you're first learning, it's difficult. Yeah, it's hard, but don't be tough on yourself. Really wanted to give it a go. Yeah. Oh gosh, no. Don't. I'm like straight down. I go out at the ears and out at the knees. That is the only figure I've got. And yeah, you're not using your hips, you're using your stomach. So yeah, if it doesn't, it's fine. Hips or no hips, you can hula hoop. But I've totally lost my train of thought now. Oh yeah, on body. So you start with your waist, and then you will learn slowly how to start moving it up. That's how you do it. Slowly, how to move it up and down your body. I recommend with just allowing it to drop down just a little bit, and then wiggle back up. Just drop down a little bit, and then wiggle it back up. And slowly, you can start allowing it to go lower and lower and lower. You might need to turn, especially if you're wearing leggings, to bring it back up, down lower, bring it back up. And that same principle can be applied to taking it above your waist. So you're spiraling up, and you can bring it up onto your chest. So chest hooping took me, from first starting to learn how to hoop on the waist, it took me about 3 months to get chest hooping. The best way to do chest hooping is to turn with it, because it slows it down. You can start it on your chest. Woo, it's difficult to talk and do this at the same time. So if you're going to start it on your chest, comes up under your armpits, and across the top of your back. Same idea, make sure it's contacting as much of you as possible. And you are going to, now this is where it takes time to get the muscle memory. The movement that you're doing with the top part of your body is you are circling your chest. So you're going to bring your chest out and round. So that's what you're doing to keep the hula hoop going. It might take a while to unlock those muscles. I know it did for me. For a while, it was just like funky chicken, which I can't actually do. So, okay, it's not freestyling. Oh, out at the knees and out. Yeah, that's literally me. My feet go out as well. Yeah, freestyle. Do what you want. The best way of learning anything is to have fun with it, and to not be down on yourself. So, chest hooping, like I say, it's the same idea. When the hoop hits your side, this bit, you're going that way with it. When it hits your front, you're pushing your chest forward. And when it hits here, so you need to be able to hit all angles. So you have to unlock the ability to do that to get smooth chest hooping. You can cheat a little bit, and that's where spinning around comes in, because you can use the momentum of the hoop, and you can just do more of a forward and backwards action. So spin with it. Then once you've got it, when you're really good, you can kind of stand stationary and try and have a conversation at the same time as doing it. So you can drop back down by slowing it down to your waist. Spiral back up to your chest. Down to your waist. Let it drop down a bit if you want. And then round your bum. And then you can spiral all the way back up. And then what you can do, which is a matter of timing, is you can pop your hands through and you can get it to go onto your neck, which gives you a bit of a rest, actually. So neck hooping is quite easy. Do not neck hoop with a weighted hoop. You will regret it. Dance hoops, neck hoop with them, but limit the amount that you do, because obviously your larynx is quite important. So when you're in neck hooping, you can get your arms back through and you can bring it back down again. And all you're going to be doing is watching for the gap that's coming around in front of you. Again, bigger the hoop, the bigger the gap, the slower it moves. smaller hoops possible. So if you're going to try that with a small hoop, have fun. So when the gap comes round, you can either pop a shoulder in and get it onto your shoulders, or you can put your full arm in and you can go back to chest hooping. That's very well demonstrated. I'll try that again. And what I would suggest you do, depending which way you're hula hooping, because my hoop comes round to the left. So if I put my right arm in first, I'm having to guess when the gap's coming because it's behind me and then it's in front. I can see the gap in front, so I know when I need to put my left arm up so I can put it up. So now your armpit and neck. And then you have to know when the gap's coming around in order for you to get your other arm up. The postman's just coming down the steps. So you can drop. Hiya.
Oh, Carla.
Let me just get this parcel.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, darling.
So go in from neck onto chest. Spot the gap as it comes around in front of you. Get kind of a feel for the rhythm of the hoop. Different hoops have different beats. You've got to learn to dance to your hoop's beat. Spot the gap, arm up, nice and quick. Don't dawdle because you'll just end up wrapping it around your face. And other gap, and you're back onto chest. You can do the same again. Watch for the gap. Back to neck hooping. Now you can take it all the way down onto your knees again. I highly suggest that you spend, if you're going to start doing this, a good amount of time just learning to wiggle up, wiggle down, get your timing right, you know. Dip your hands in the gaps, find, like that, find the timing of your hoop. So what we can do, because I know some of you have got smaller hoops, possibly all of you, all four of you, is we can learn some off-body stuff. Do you know how big your hoop is? Marie or Kirk? Well, let's just have a look. Oh, Marie's good at it. Shaz, how are you getting on, Shaz? Have you got a hula hoop to practice with? Where's my water bottle? Stay hydrated because it's exhausting. Yeah, so next we're going to move on to some... Oh, good. Yeah, always good to hear that somebody is inspired to keep going with hula hooping. That's, yeah, I love that. You know, whenever I perform, you get people from a variety of different backgrounds. You know, you always get the little 5-year-old little girls who are like, oh, you're my hero. And you also get, you know, 26 inches. Okay, so this is 29. So I don't think I've got a 26-inch one out. But you should be able to do this stuff with your 26 as well. Yeah, you get people from all different kind of walks of life kind of wanting to try this. And, you know, I've often taught workshops when you get so many different people from so many different backgrounds all coming together and having fun doing the same thing. And that's one of the things that I really like about Circus. You know, it unites people from whatever. And in the older people as well, they're like, oh, I used to have one of these back in, was it 1960s or something, whether they were first, was it Whammo that did them? First kind of copyrighted, I suppose they were, but actually hula hoops have been depicted as far back as times of ancient Egypt and Greece. They've been found on pottery, ancient pottery from Greece as part of their games and stuff that they do, kind of the hoop and stick thing. So yeah, anyway, big hoop. Okay, let me just scroll back. So, right, so we're going to try some off-body stuff. Now, a bit of technical jargon here. You have two planes in hula hoop, not the type that fly through the sky. dimensions. Getting technical. Easy way to remember it. If you stood sideways and it's out either side, the wheel's on the bus. So that is the wheel plane. Okay, so this, with the hula hoop at the side of me, is wheel plane. If I turn towards it, wax on, wax off, or painting the wall, wall plane. Wall plane, wheel plane, wall plane, wheel plane. Easy, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to practice first in wall plane. So it's just spinning the hoop around your hand. Sounds easy. However, I remember the days where I was flinging it at the cat, at the plants, at the telly, all sorts. Have your hand with your thumb out, stops it coming down your wrist towards you. And you need to keep your hand nice and strong when you're doing this. Now, if you want to start it off with the other hand, you can, but just be aware, if you're not kind of starting it off straight, you might just knock it off. I find the best way to start is to start gripping between my thumb and I have it flat on my hand, and then I'll grasp and I'll just give a quick, and it's almost as if you throw it over. Now the movement when you've got it going is just up and down. We try and turn so you can see this. If you try to go too fast, you'll lose the hoop, and you will find that you're going to struggle to keep it straight. It's going to be leaning that way, this way, all sorts of ways, whilst you're kind of learning to build up those tiny little muscles that you didn't even realise you had in your hands. So you're working on controlling it and trying to keep it, which way is the camera, nice and straight. It's more of a bounce, and you allow the speed of the hoop to determine how quickly you bounce your hand up and down. So you are responding to the momentum of the hoop, basically. If you start forcing it, you can, but you better make sure you're forcing it in the right direction, otherwise you're going to launch it across the room. You're probably going to launch it across the room anyway, and that's fine. Try and keep the hoop so it's somewhere between your first knuckle and your hand. Obviously, if you've got your thumb out, it's stopping it going down your wrist. And your knuckles are a bit lumpy anyway, so they should stop it. And again, if you're using a heavier dance hoop with this, when I first learned how to do these, I don't even know what it's called, you know, this move. This, when I first learned how to do this, I learned with a dance hoop, which was heavy and big, and I bruised my hands to the point where I just couldn't practice anymore. I had to wait for the bruising to go down, and people thought I'd been in fist fights and all sorts. So practice it if you want with a bigger hoop. Just be aware that it does get sore, so just kind of limit what you're doing with it. You don't want to hurt yourself. Never hoop on bruises. Kirky just launched it across the room. Yeah, it happens. Can you see my lamp up there? Yeah, the amount of times I've ended up having to get my hoop down off the lamp because I've managed to launch it up there. Okay, so practicing this, you're just getting used to keeping it straight. And a really, really easy transition is to go just from wall plane, and all you're doing, you keep your hand there and you just turn your body. And you can turn back. You can do that way as well, but it's a little bit harder to control whether the hoop's straight or not. Now, once you've managed to keep it going one direction, what I want you to do is squeeze, grab, and reverse the rotation of the hoop. So all you're doing, I'll come a bit closer, try not to destroy my plants, is you're going to grab and push back the other way. Grab and push back the other way. So really, with these two moves that I don't know the name of, just hand spins in wall and wheel plane, I'm going to call it. Learn to go both directions in both planes, and then switch hands and learn that in both directions. A way to switch your hands is, if you want, you can just start it on that hand, but it's much better if you learn to transfer. So what you're going to do, again, is you're going to spot the gap as it's coming around, And you're going to put your hands together as if you're praying. So now I've got both hands inside the hoop, and then I wait for my gap to come around before taking the other one out. Once you get used to it, you can just swap without having to put your hands together. Really, all this is timing and keeping your hoop straight. Once you get used to switching from one hand to one hand, you can start to move your circles up and down. So your hand stays in the same position. Let me come facing forward. Your hand stays with your thumb up, and it has to stay straight. It becomes more difficult to control your planes the further away from your kind of, I suppose your pivot point would be your elbow. If the closer in the hoop is to your body, the easier it is to keep it straight. As you start coming out, it requires just a little bit more concentration, and you're more likely to throw it around. So what we can work on from there is, again, another trick I've forgotten the name of. We can start moving it. I think it's called an anti-spin flower. So in real time, it's going to look, let me move this down a bit so you can see it. In real time, you're going to, the idea of it is you're drawing 4 petals of a flower. And you do that by moving down. All that is, like it didn't take me ages to learn, is spinning on your hand. And the first step would be you drop your hand down, let it rotate there. And then you put your hand to my left, let it rotate there. And then you bring it up, let it rotate there, and then out to the other side before bringing it back down. And you want to be slowly, not hitting the ceiling, decreasing the amount of time, so the amount of spins you spend at each point. So when it's full speed, you're moving your arm around at the same time as the hoop's rotating. But you have to just get the timing right with this one. Again, if you move your hand at the wrong time, you're going to have to wait until you feel the hoop on the back of your hand before you go up. This is one of those ones that it's quite difficult to teach. It's a matter of playing around, moving the hoop all around the different planes, and make sure you're doing it sideways as well so you can go forward with it. You can go back, a bit more difficult because it's an awkward arm position. You can go up, ceiling, and you can go down. So and this is why I practice with small hoops inside, because I hit everything. So practice that on both arms, both directions, in all of the positions of the clock face. So if you imagine you're looking at a clock, work around the clock, basically. Use a mirror if you want. I haven't really got a mirror that's big enough. I just use the reflection in the very expensive TV that I should have covered up. So I'm going to do that now. So from there, I'm going to do some more timer wheel, make sure I'm not overrunning. Yeah, we're going to do some more off-body tricks. Woohoo, I did the switch. This is amazing. Yes, nice work on not destroying the kitchen. Yeah, you're all going to hit yourself with hoops. You know, that happens. The amount of times I've taken out kids, like when I've been training in the park, and you just, as soon as you bring out hula hoops, kids are like, ah, and you don't always see them, and you're just like, whoopah! Sorry. But they're usually quite resilient, children are. It's the adults that give you a dirty look when you throw your hula hoop at them. Whoops. Okay, so now that you're all pros at doing that, we're going to learn, what shall we learn? Okay, so there are 2 variations. There's an up and a down. Yeah, obviously there's an up and a down. They're called escalators. So you've got escalator. I'm going to use this hoop for this. Oh, another thing to mention, grip tape. Probably a poor example here, but this green you can see on the inside, or you might not be able to because of the camera, is sports grip tape. If your hoop's slippery, you're gonna struggle. So when you're ordering your dance hoops, they usually come taped. The dance hoop usually come with a spiral of grip tape around them. It's really important. If your hoop is untaped, I haven't got any down here at the minute, it's a lot more slippery and you have to work a lot harder to keep it up. Okay, so what we're going to do first is the escalator. It's called an escalator because it goes up your body. Let me move the camera angle so you can see my feet. This you might be able to do with a small hoop. Let me switch to my 29. Okay, so there's two ways of starting this. I'm just going to step away a minute, but I'm going to have to come potentially closer because I might destroy everything. So you're going to hold your hoop and you're going to step your nearest leg to it, out in front, and then back down into it. So you've got your hoop sort of just around the back of your leg, and it looks like that on the front. So hold it out to the side, forward, back into it. This is the starting position. What you're then going to do is you're going to essentially throw the hoop at yourself. But you're going to step this leg up at the same time. So you're going to swing the hoop in as if you're trying to hit yourself in the belly button with the part of your hula hoop that's being held by your hand. And at the same time, you're going to lift this leg up and then you're going to put this arm up. So what it looks like, hopefully, I've got space to do this, what it should look like is an escalator. It might not look like this because I'm under pressure now. So I went all the way around. Out and in. It will go up, spiral around your body, and you catch it in the other hand. So step. You can start this with both legs in if the step is a bit much. So if you want to start with both legs in, stand inside like you're hula hooping and just drop it down so it's on your shins at the front and it's kind of behind your bum. I don't have mine touching the floor when I do this, when I'm doing it with a smaller hoop. But if I was using a bigger hoop, because obviously it's bigger, it's further down, it's kind of like across my ankles. But where you need to make sure the hoop is sitting is sort of just kind of around, just under the bum level. Snug it under your bum cheek. It's the same idea, but you've not got the added step to worry about. So push and push and catch and take out the camera. If you don't put your arm up quick enough, it just comes straight off. So it's important. As soon as you've let go with this arm and pushed, that you put your other one up. You do have to give it quite a lot of momentum. So if it does come off, it's going to go quite far. It happens. Again, it's been on the lamp. So step in. Push it as if you're going towards your belly button and put your hand up. Okay. Stand a bit closer so you can see the... try and break it down so it's slower. So what you're doing is you're giving it a lot of momentum. So essentially, as soon as you let go of this and it hits your stomach, it spirals up. It's really hard to demonstrate, can't slow it down. It spirals, that was terrible, spirals up. It moves up your body. Might want to move valuable things, okay? I am going to face the wall this time because that is probably going to happen again. So it will spiral up your body and into whatever you don't want to hit with it. So push, catch, push, catch. Again, this is where it is behind me. I'll show you this from behind so you can see from behind. I'm going to push and catch. Okay? It takes practice. Smaller hoops, again, will go quicker. Bigger hoops, I find it a lot easier to do this with a bigger hoop. And I quite like to step in with this one because it just feels like a little bit of added flair, because or not. But you just have to be mindful of your ceilings. So push, and the lamp. And then from there, that was called the escalator. We have the reverse escalator. So we've travelled up and we can travel back down. I will show you this and then we'll break it down. Use a slightly smaller hoop tack because I'm going to take the house out. So this is your finishing position if you've done your escalator correctly. I'm going to face this way. So push, you'll catch it up here, which is in the perfect place to do your reverse escalator. Now this one, when you're holding it, some of the things to get wrong, people commonly will get wrong, is holding the hoop too low down. So you can't, you probably could do it, but it's hard. So you need to hold your arm at 45 degrees-ish, and you are holding your hoop at around 4 o'clock. So the whole line from your arm intersecting the middle of the hoop needs to be at 45 degrees or near as damn it from your shoulder. So nearly said elbow then. Now, what you do is you're going to swing the hoop so it contacts your arm, and you're going to move your head so you don't hit yourself in the head with it. So that's the first step. Make sure you're at 45 degrees, move your head, swing it so it contacts your arm. And then you're going to find there's a point where you can't really do much because you're kind of stuck. So what you would do then is you would let go. And that's where the momentum of the hoop would carry it around your body. It would spiral down your body in kind of the reverse of what we did with the escalator. So move your head, let go, and it spirals down. Another common mistake is not letting go. So you get to this point, and then you go in, I don't know. I mean, that didn't look that bad, really, but so duck your head out, let it hit your arm, and as soon as it's contacted this point, if you're using a smaller hoop, the point of contact will be further up your arm, and if you're using a bigger hoop, the point of contact will be closer to your neck. So it's important you really move your head out the way with the bigger hoops, because it never looks cool smashing yourself in the face. People laugh at you. This is a 30-inch hula hoop. This is kind of like my preferred size because I like it. You can do on body, a fair amount of on body, as well as being able to take it off and do the off body tricks. It's a good size for me. 32s are nice for more of the on body splitting. I'll show you what I mean by that in a minute. And if you really are not interested in doing any on body stuff, that's cool. You develop your own style, then you can just stick to the smaller ones. So you could probably just use a kid's hoop indefinitely if you wanted to do that. Although they really are difficult to work with. So again, 45 degrees, swing, make sure your head's not in the way. As soon as it contacts that point on your arm, you let go, and the momentum of the hoop will take it down. Now you can catch in a variety of ways. Generally, if you just have your, that looks dodgy, just have your hand down here, it will fall into your hand. Oh, I forgot to tell you what to do with it before we get to that point. Obviously, it'll get in the way. You're diving through. So imagine you're a dolphin that's not being kept in a horrible, nasty tank. You're a free dolphin that's just so happened to happen across a hula hoop in the middle of the free, lovely ocean. So once you've ducked out of the way of the first bit and it's contacted your arm and you're ready to let go, you're going to dive this arm through that hula hoop. Diving through. Well, that's that thing that kids are doing, isn't it? That thing. Once you've divin, is divin the past tense of dive? Does anyone know? Dove. Once you've dove through, you want to bring your hand, your diving hand, back down here, ready to catch. So, duck, swing, let go, catch. That's how it is supposed to look if you do it right. So, the tricks that we've learned so far, I'm just going to recap because we've got a few minutes left. We've learned how to, we've learned the theory of how to waist hoop. We've learned the theory of knee hooping. We've learned the theory of chest hooping. Now, just to quickly mention, you can progress from chest hooping to shoulder hooping, but because that goes across a broader part of your body, it is harder. So that's why I tend to spin around when I'm chest hooping. Otherwise, you have to move really fast. So we've learned, waist, knees, chest, shoulder. Oh, it took ages to get, but there are videos out there on it, and it's just a matter of drilling it and drilling it and drilling it. Neck, that's easy. You just kind of backwards and forwards with your neck, really. And you can stick your chin in and get it to go onto your head. Now, this might go horribly wrong in a minute, but you can also go from your head to your nose. Fortunately, I caught it before I smashed the camera. So then we've learned how to wiggle up, or at least a theory of it. It's a spiral movement, like you're some kind of slinky snake. But don't do that, because your hoop will stay on the bit of your body that moves the most. We've also learned hand spins in wall plane, so wax on, wax off. Hand spins in wheel plane, wheels on the bus go round and round. We've learned to transition from one hand to the other by putting them together as if you're praying. And we've learned how to grab and reverse the direction of the hoop, as well as different heights, different positions, so you can stick them together and do something called a wall plane anti-spin flower, 4-petal. We've then learned the escalator, the reverse escalator, and that's all we've learned so far. Got 5 minutes, so what I'm going to show you next is something called a chest roll. This is a good one to practice again with small hoops. So I'll show you what it looks like. Those of you that can do it with a basketball, I can't, so you're off to a great start with this. Now, it's all about visualising the line from the point you let go until the point that you catch. We're not just thinking release, catch, because if we do that, we're just going to throw it. So we have to draw that line straight across our chest in our mind's eye. You're going to give the hand that's letting go. I like to hold it here so I can give it a swing. So it goes between my thumb and my index finger, and I can swing it by giving it a bit of pressure with my pinky finger. So you need to give it a bit of momentum. And then when you've got momentum, it's going to roll and it's going to travel through the groove between your thumb and your index finger and up your arm, in theory. And again, it takes practice, and you will throw it to start with, but we'll just quickly go through the theory. So give it a bit of a roll. Think of your nice straight line and let go, and it will travel across. You can do back rolls as well. Same idea, but you just have to, well, you can't see what it's doing behind the back of your head. Now, just disclaimer, my back rolls suck, so bear with me on this. Same start position, it's just that your line that you're drawing in your mind's eye goes behind your head as opposed to across this part of your chest. Woo! See, not getting full contact on my second arm with my chest back rolls because I don't drill them. But yes, the same idea as your chest roll. Now, quickly, before I disappear, I will show you what you can work up to if you are working on different parts of your body with your hula hoop. So learn to control your hoop around your waist, learn to control your hoop around your knees, learn to control your hoop around your chest, and learn to control, we didn't do this, but this is called a lasso, your hand. Learn to control your hand. You need to do that as well. Learn to control the hoop above your head. You can put them all together, and this is called on-body splitting. You can start just with two. So you would start with them around your waist. Keep them going at the same time. And then what you will do is you'll use your muscles to wiggle top one apart from the bottom one. And you have to develop a little bit of a wave movement. So you do it two. You can add a third in. Because people out there, they can do like 7 and 9. My best, I can do 5, but it's not, it's not neat. So 3, you can cheat, let go of the bottom 2 and just lift the top one up and start that spinning. And then you've got to separate the top 2. And if you get the timing right, this is like going from neck hooping to chest hooping. You drop your arm through. So you can move on to 3. Have to be able to control different parts of your body, different times. It's very good for making you really exhausted and really frustrated. It's really good for learning how to isolate your muscles. Now, I'll show you 4 just before I go. I won't show you 5 because that relies on me having 2 on my hand, and I know that I usually move all my plants out of the way. They're on the windowsill, you can't see them at the minute because I love my plants and I don't want to kill them. So 4, you wiggle the top one up. Get that on your hand. And then you're going to, hopefully, I'm not wearing clothes that are too slippy. And that will do for now. So yeah, practice. Get yourself dance hoops to start off with. Lighter hoops good for the off-body stuff. And just kind of be kind to yourself whilst you're learning this. As with any new skill, it takes time. I want to see Kirk try the chest roll. Yeah, I'd quite like to see all of you trying these things as well. Haven't broken anything. Could you post a link afterwards, please, for the best hoops to buy? So if I just post that in the, I'm assuming it when I end this, it's going to kind of do a post thing, and then I can just comment underneath. Thank you. Yes, I will post some links as to where to buy hoops from, and some information about buying hoops and sizing hoops and grips and stuff like that. And I will also post links to I think probably the best YouTube channel to learn from, and that's Deanne Love. Gosh, I'm out of breath. So thank you for joining in. That's my exercise for the day. It's not, I'm going to go and do some yoga now, which I planned on doing before, but life. And yeah, if you do kind of get into it, which I all hope you do because it's amazing, it's good for the mind and the body. Because they say that combining an exercise that trains both your body and makes your brain learn new things is really good for kind of keeping a cognitive impairment at bay. I'm a nurse as well, so I'm kind of massive. I do a lot of dementia care. I'm massive at kind of trying to prevent that in people if possible. It's not always preventable, but there are things that we can do, and learning new skills especially skills that use both sides of your hemisphere, both hemispheres in your brain at the same time are really good for that. So yeah, thanks again for joining in. I've got an Instagram channel. I think I posted somewhere on this spiel, and that's Cherry Twirls. And there's a YouTube. There is a YouTube channel. If you search for Cherry Twirls, I've got some full-length videos on there. I did have a Facebook performer page, but I tend to just post things on my personal page. So if you want to drop me a friend request, that's fine. And yeah, if you want any advice on anything, you are more than welcome to drop me a message. I can do kind of online one-to-one video teaching as well, or if when we all get out the other side of this lockdown, it's nicer to learn together in parks and stuff. I'm certainly missing that. So yeah, I'm going to go, and thank you again for joining in. I hope you find it enjoyable and valuable, and I hope I have sparked an interest in all of you. So yes, take care, enjoy the rest of your day, and again, if you haven't already, I know most of the people watching have probably already donated, but if you can, super good cause, Rainbows Children's Hospice. They do great work, and they rely really heavily on donations because they don't get a lot of money from the government. So if you can support and donate, please do. Yeah, have a good day. Bye-bye. Take care.